People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
We are back, and this week we have a dude that's like ripped from a movie. I have this written down here. Today's guest has lived a life that sounds like it came straight out of a Hollywood movie. He moved to Las Vegas with just a couple $1,000s in his pocket, studied under some of the most legendary card men and magicians in the world, worked inside casinos, learned the secrets of professional card mechanics, and eventually became involved in some of the most fascinating stories ever told, beating the casinos at their own game. His new book, How I Did It and Got Away With It, isn't just about blackjack. It's about psychology, timing, persuasion, deception, mentorship, and life lessons learned from living on the edge. Everybody, it's the third appearance of legendary card cheat, Dustin Marks. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Damn, I want to meet this guy. That was a good intro. Thank you.
Damn, that was good. So, doing research, man, trying to get all this stuff together, make you sound good, but you are awesome. And
oh, thank you.
This life that you've lived is just, I have some connections in LA. I was trying to get a cartoon off and running, but all the cartoons are closing down. It's just nobody's doing cartoons anymore, and they're going darker. And we even tried to make ours a little darker and try to pitch that. But, dude, you need to get your biopic up. I mean, this is... Have you ever
writing the book and thinking about all the stuff just in the blackjack area was just like, wow. I mean, I know I did it because it's me, but in a sense, I'm going, holy cow, this was crazy. You know, when you're young, you take a lot of chances. You're not as mature. You're not as smart. And you get older and you think, wow, I'm still alive. And, never got caught, never got arrested, nothing. Walked away clean, and that's a good thing, obviously.
But it's weird when you look back 30 years ago and look at your life and just what could have gone wrong. I mean, It's so scary. It's so scary what we were doing back then, you know? I was working for a guy, I've told this on the podcast before on another episode a couple years ago probably. I was working for a guy that had mafia ties.
Oh, wow.
That I found out years later.
Mm-hmm.
But him being a magician, I was just studying magic. But I was doing anything he asked me to do. I need you to move that box over there. Okay. Well, he would show me other boxes had zigzags and things in them.
Yeah.
Everything was magic as far as I knew.
Right.
But pulled over coming home every night. The cops were after me. But they wouldn't just pull me over. They was emptying my car, throwing all my stuff on the side of the road, and then saying, okay, well, slow down, goodbye. And they would just leave. I never got a ticket. And I found out 5 years later that guy had a SWAT team bust into his house and do all this stuff. I didn't know I was involved in any of it. I didn't know. But looking like, whoa, anything could have went sideways at any moment. You know,
you make the wrong move when they're, interrogating you or anything. It sounded like he was using you as well, the cops thought you were a runner for him.
Yeah. Right. Oh, 100%. 100%. And
you weren't, but they didn't know,
Right. Yeah. And I was working out back then, Dustin. So I had creatine and amino acids and all these little bottles. And I had my workout equipment in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Not drugs. I don't know what you're looking for, but it's not drugs. I don't know what you're doing. And I'm little, so is it really drugs? You're not working out. It doesn't look like it.
That's funny.
But anyway, all right, let's talk about magic and everything. So I know this is the third podcast with you, but tell me about your early career in magic before you even got into Vegas and everything, because you were doing magic way back when, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a big time magician by any means. I had the classic start, little 7-year-old kid, got introduced to an amateur magician and got hooked. And then I just didn't have a mentor, so I read books from the library, no YouTube back then or anything. And then in college, I did a few shows, but just more for fun and stuff. I was hardcore, I would say, move junkie back then, but didn't really perform much. And from reading the books, after I graduated college, I realized that all the authors, or most of them, lived in Las Vegas, Nevada. So that's one of the main reasons I moved here, is to meet the magicians and get really good with a deck of cards. And even then, I didn't really do any shows, but I did get a lot better because they were very forthcoming and sharing and really helped me out a lot. But soon after that, I did meet, in my opinion, the best, at least blackjack cheat in the world. And that's where things changed for me.
Now, did you meet him at one of the meetings? Are you allowed to say where you met him?
Yeah, no, he never went to the meetings. He was pretty secretive and reclusive. And I went down to a casino in Vegas, heard he was working there, cut into the boss, and asked him, I'll call him Mr. CC. Is Mr. CC working today? And the boss said, he used to work here, but he quit and moved back east. Now, to this day, I don't know why, but I didn't believe the guy. So my search continued, and there was a bookstore in Vegas called the Gamblers Book Club. I figured, a guy like that might hang out there. So I started going to the book club, and I befriended a guy there. We called him Bookstore Paul because he's in the bookstore so often. He literally gave him a job there. So one day I go in the bookstore, and Paul does one of these, and he shows me a VHS tape by Mr. CC. And on the back, there was a picture, which we assumed was him. So I told Bookstore Paul, if this guy ever comes in the bookstore, call me. A few weeks later, I get a phone call. It's Bookstore Paul. He goes, I think he's in the store. So the store is about 20 minutes away. I got there in 10. Walked in, looked, spot on match. And I knew this is one of those now or never moments. So I walked up to him. I said, are you Mr. CC? I'll never forget what he said. He said, that depends on who's asking. So we talked for a few minutes, and he asked me if I had a car. Kind of a weird question. I said, yeah. Then he said 3 words that changed my life. He said, follow me home. So for the next 6 hours, I spent with the best in the world. And he showed me moves with cards, with dice, with chips. He showed me so much, I remembered almost nothing. Brilliant strategy. But I did realize this. This guy was light years ahead of the casinos. If I could get these moves down, I could beat the casinos. So that was my kind of origin story.
Do you follow any of these new guys that just say they're beating the casinos nowadays? I see it on TikTok all the time. I think it's a magic algorithm thing. The dude with all the tattoos on his faces that has all these. He gets everybody to pull in $1 million, and then he splits the profit with everybody because he's always winning. So you give him 100,000, he'll give you 300,000 back.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, actually, I'm not on TikTok yet. I know I need to get on it. So no, I don't.
Okay. All right. I didn't know because these guys. Did you ever get into? He plays a lot of Baccarat.
No, never played. I know the game, but no, never played.
Yeah, he might be doing it straight and just real lucky. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, if he's cheating, I don't think he'd be advertising. That's not smart. Well, he could be doing some kind of advantage play, which is legal.
Okay.
But then, things get exaggerated. I'm not saying he's doing that, but things have been known to be exaggerated.
Oh yeah, I mean, rappers do it and hold up their cash stacks, and then you see that they're actually living in an apartment because they haven't gotten paid for their record deal yet. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, so who knows?
So when you said in the book that you fell in love with Vegas, the first time through your kids' eyes, and early through your parents, what was it that attracted you to Vegas? Just everything.
They won a free trip to Las Vegas back in the 60s, ironically by mistake, which is kind of cool when you think about it. And, being a little 7-year-old kid from the Midwest, I never even heard of Vegas. But they come back, and they thought it was the coolest city in the world. And they bought me a little miniature about this big roulette thing. And I thought, a little 7-year-old kid, that was really cool. And that left a lasting impression on me. And then, like most card magicians, I'm going to say around 14, I got the classic book, which I'm can't think of it, The Expert at the Card Table. And I read that cover to cover, and I could do those overhand run-ups pretty good because I really practiced a lot. And then shortly after that, I bought Dr. Thorpe's book, Beat the Dealer. And that really got me going about Vegas again. And I was too young. Well, I could have moved out here, but I was really young, like 15, 16. That wouldn't have worked out real well. But that was some of the events that led me towards Vegas.
Wow, wow. So what about the Magic Club? In the book, you talk about one of my favorite parts of the book is when you walked into Gary Darwin's Magic Club and you're suddenly sitting with all those legends. I mean, I'm reading it in the book and I'm like, because magician, I'm imagining.
Yeah, sure.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I came to Vegas and I knew about the club from some book that I got to track down, a magic book. But of course, this was before the internet. So it took about 3 weeks to figure out where they were meeting. I knew when, but not where. Finally tracked them down. And I walked in there, and there front and center is Jimmy Grippo, legendary magician, a resident magician of Caesars. Next to him, Michael Skinner. We all know Michael Skinner, Johnny Carson's favorite magician, and Alan Ackerman, Dana Betts, Paul Harris. My list went on and on. And these guys were real friendly, real accommodating. So my knowledge and my skill level with the deck of cards, skyrocketed because you're around the best. It cannot not skyrocket. So that was really fun. And I remember those days. I never missed a meeting, never once. And I'd be there till like 4 a.m. and then get up in 3 hours and go to work. But it was well worth it.
Wow.
Was really good back then.
For the people that, because I have magician and non-magician listeners, what's the difference of what CC taught you and what Alan Ackerman and Paul Harris was teaching and doing there?
Paul and Alan and all those guys were doing just straight magic. Sleight of hand, but just no cheating moves. And Mr. CC was totally cheating.
Yeah, but
he did do some magic, but he never, to my knowledge, I don't think he ever performed magic. He might have when he was way younger, but never in Vegas. It was strictly, the moves that got the money.
Wow. So who do you think influenced you the most of all those famous magicians at that Wednesday night meeting? That famous Wednesday night meeting?
Not counting Mr. CC?
No.
Okay. I actually became pretty tight with Jimmy Grippo. He took a liking to me, and that was really cool because he's probably in his 60s then, so he had tons of experience. And he's a really good guy, and of course, very knowledgeable.
What were they doing back then? I mean, you got Penn and Teller and Copperfield and Shen Lim type shows. Were there close-up shows in Vegas back then, or were they just doing hospitality suites and things like that? What were they doing?
Well, Jimmy was a resident magician at Caesars at the Bacchanal Room, so he was making really good money. He's only performed on request, but he was kind of a legend. And then Skinner was down at Golden Nugget, pretty much the same setup. Paul was mainly writing the books. I don't think Paul Harris performed a lot. I may be wrong about that, but I don't think so. Alan did some shows, but, he wrote a lot of great magic books. And those are the guys I knew probably the best. There were others. That was actually 40 years ago. And there was maybe 25 or 30 of us that would always show up, but then another 30 or 40 that would be visiting Vegas and come in. And, those guys I didn't get to meet. I mean, I got to meet, but I don't remember them because it's like a one-time meeting type.
Yeah.
So, it was hopping back then.
I wanted to try to make a meeting when we were there, and my wife was like, we're only in Vegas this time. You can't do it. Because we're taking in Matt King and Copperfield.
Right.
I want to go to this at nighttime, honey.
Oh, yeah.
Scheduling all this stuff.
It's so hard. You have such limited time. But it's still going on. When was the last time you were at a meeting?
About a month ago. In fact, I just got an email today about it. It's every Wednesday night, has been for, I'm guessing 60 years. I think Gary started it in the 60s.
Wow.
Gary Darwin.
Yeah.
And he was a great guy. I mean, he knew every type of magic. I got to tour his house. He had me over. The entire house, except for, I guess, the bathroom and one bedroom, was magic, like behind you guys. But every room, he was one of the most prolific collectors. Small time. He wasn't like Copperfield buying illusions and Harry Houdini stuff. But, Yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah, he had an encyclopedia of thumb magic.
Yes.
Come to DVD and did the tour at the end of that. But I mean, I've been in magic for over 30 years. What am I going to do with a TT? Oh my gosh! I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he had a 4-disc DVD set of things to do with it. I'm like, it was a lot. But his house,
and he was good. Yeah, he would show me stuff, and even though I knew what he was doing, it was fooling. He was very good.
Yeah. Wow. So who shows up nowadays? Anybody we'd know?
Alan is the official
Gary role.
Yeah. He does, let's see, I'm trying to think of the guys you might have heard of. Once in a while, Paul Viegel, who's pretty prominent. Do you know Bobby Barasini?
No.
Good guy. His father was had the act at the Stardust with the orangutans.
Oh, wow.
That was a big show and a great show back in the 80s. Trying to think, Gary Narcegian, you might have heard of him. And then, they have really good lectures, really good. Gregory Wilson, who's a friend of mine, was there, and he's so good at everything he does. So the lectures, they have usually 4 or 5 lectures a year, and they're way more than the price. I think the price is only $25 a year. So it's still something I go to. It is different, I got to admit. It's not near as populated by big-time magicians as it used to be, but it's still good. Actually, I'm confusing a little. I'm sorry. The IBM meeting happens to be once a month, and then right after, everybody goes to Gary Darwin's Magic Club meeting. So now the Magic Club meeting does not have lectures. I did misspeak.
Okay. So the Wednesday night thing doesn't have it, but the IBM Club does.
Yeah, which happens to be on a Wednesday. So people, and it's close by, so they just drive over to Gary Darwin's Magic Club meeting. And that can be any more. It can be a hit or miss. You can have just 8 guys there, or you can have 30. It just depends. And you still have a fair amount of visiting magicians come in. It's not as late as it used to be. I think it started at 11 back when it was really rocking and rolling, because they wanted the strip magicians to come in after their shows. Now it starts around 8:30.
Okay, yeah. That does make the strip magicians a little tougher to get there.
Yeah, and most of them, Lance Burton was there a lot. Copperfield once in a while. Siegfried was there some. Yeah, Siegfried kind of not promoted, but sponsored it. Yeah, he would always help out Gary if he needed help.
Wow.
Siegfried was a really good guy.
All right, so I got pages of notes here, man. Let's get back. So what was the scene in Las Vegas like in the 80s compared to today?
Oh, much different. I jokingly say I don't live in Vegas. I don't know what town this is anymore. Vegas was small town. In fact, when I moved here in '83, they didn't have traffic reports because there was no traffic. Believe it or not. Right. You get around anywhere really quick. The casinos, you didn't need a damn GPS to find the showroom. They were small, no paid parking, and parking was easy. In my opinion, of course, I'm biased, everything was a little better overall.
Yeah.
Now, there weren't as many shows. There are many more shows now, and some great smaller magic shows, but really good. But yeah, it was old-time Vegas. And the old joke back then was, what's the most important thing to know when you're taking off a game? The answer, the exit. It was easy to find back then. Now I don't even know how to get into some damn. In fact, I just picked up a guy who is an author writing books about card cheats. And just to get to this place, the GPS wasn't that accurate. I just kind of lucked in and got to them. But it's like a maze, literally a maze nowadays. And that's just not me. It's everybody's saying that because the infrastructure wasn't built to be this big. So they're just patchworking things. And it's kind of a mess, in my opinion. But again, when you were in the 80s, you're a lot younger, things were great. It was easy to get around. Plus you're beating the casinos. It was really good. Like everybody, you didn't know how good you had it till you look back 30, 40 years and go, oh my God, this is really good. And I'm glad I took advantage of it and didn't, waste it.
When was our first time? 2008?
No, 2006, I think.
2006. And it's completely different now.
Oh, even now, 20 years later, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely different. Yeah. But talk about CC. Let's get back to CC for a second. Without giving away identities or anything like that. Why was everybody intimidated by his reputation?
Wouldn't really say it intimidated. He's a really nice guy when you got to meet him. Really good guy. They were just, I think, awestruck at how good he was with a deck of cards. He was the best I've ever seen. And I mean, I was there with him a lot, not just once or twice.
Right.
He could do one of the reasons he got famous was his pass, the shift. It was completely invisible. And I saw it hundreds of times. I mean, I knew he was doing it. You couldn't see anything. Yeah, he was a perfectionist, very good. But no, I don't think anybody would be intimidated by him. Like I said, he's a real friendly guy, actually.
Just his legacy, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, after everything happened, then he became real reclusive and stuff. But yeah, and he was always very fair. He always knew, working with him was going to turn out good and no problems.
So what do you think is the most important lesson you learned from him?
Good question. Boy, that is a good question. I guess try to be as good as you can, get the moves down as good as you can, because you're under fire. This isn't and nothing, I'm not degrading magicians, but when you're under fire like that, the consequences can be really bad. So we practice a lot. I remember plays, I'd be over his house a lot practicing. So even though he was really good, he didn't have the attitude, well, I'm so good, I don't need to practice anymore. No, and that's just when I was there. I'm sure he practiced a lot, when nobody was around too. But he had it down really good.
Dustin, one of the things I would do when I was first professional, 20, 30 years ago, I would learn a new trick and I would perform it for kids.
Oh,
Kids would bust me.
Yeah.
I would do it for kids repeatedly till I got the pattern down and got everything. And then I would take it to adults. But the eyes in the sky, they don't blink and you don't. That kid's stupid. Oh, yeah, he caught me doing something. Then I wouldn't do that trick and I'd do my amazing stuff right for the adults. He said he caught me on something. Yeah, right. And then you just keep going. But the eyes in the sky, man, that doesn't blink. They can review the footage. They can rewind it. They can watch it over and over.
That's true. However, in the 80s, it was not that good, the quality. Remember, his VHS tapes, most of them are still in black and white. Not all of them, but most. And back in the 80s, most casinos had one camera for 3 games. So it was on the wide angle. So it couldn't detect the sleight of hand moves from that angle. You just couldn't. I was in enough surveillance rooms and saw, it was kind of a joke, to be honest. Number one. Number two, and I had friends in the eye in the sky. Now, we never did business together. I wouldn't put them in that situation. But they told me most of the time, they're just watching women. Unless they got a call, they were not watching the games. Because, imagine watching a TV show with no sound and you're not invested in the characters. It's kind of boring. So that was a big thing we tried to do 95% of the time, is not draw attention. Because once you draw attention, then the boss starts watching, then they call up, then surveillance starts watching and filming you. But if you don't draw attention, that's not going to happen. Now, on the big plays, yeah, of course, we knew we were going to draw attention. And then we had a different playbook for those kind of plays.
It just makes me get goosebumps.
Yeah.
But you did the Fox documentary with all the gambling. That was Fox, wasn't it? Didn't you do a special for Fox, or was that just a DVD that I own?
I did a DVD, but that was for Lewis.
Okay, yes, that's what I had.
Publishing.
Man, that is so great. That is.
Yeah, that was really a fun project. He flew me up there. He had a blackjack table. He had actors. He had he was a good guy to me. He was not the Hells Angels, but the other big biker group. He was part of them, and a magician. But we were real friendly. And he was a dealer. I had to teach him some stuff. He never dealt, but he did a good job for never dealing. But if you really watch that DVD closely and watch my mouth, I'm actually giving directions to everybody as I'm playing because
Wow.
didn't know. But yeah, that was Lewis had 4 cameras on me, and yeah, it was good. I really, really liked that. And that DVD was mainly meant for the industry because he priced it at $200, which was fairly expensive around 2000. And I heard a lot of the casinos bought it.
Wow. Yeah, that's somebody did it. Was it Darwin Ortiz do one for Fox where he was gambling and doing that? That's what it reminded me of, your documentary, because it looked like it was filmed in a television studio, and then you would go back and show each move and how it was done and things.
It might have been. Now, I was on, I didn't even know, Amazon Prime. They had a thing like the world's best card cheats or something, and I was on one of those.
Wow.
And you know what? You can't see it in the United States now, so I don't even have a copy of it.
Aww.
It was pretty good. So it might have been that one if you saw it years ago, but I don't know for sure.
So one of the themes in your book talks about timing more than technique. Do you think that's true in Magic as well?
Timing? Oh, yeah. I mean, you can do a terrible move, do a move terribly, but if nobody's watching, you're going to get away with it. And, you know, when people burn you, and you know how that is, sometimes you can do the move. You just got it down so well. But, yeah, timing, especially in the casinos. Yeah. Like the big plays, a computer cooler where the dealers false shuffling 6 decks of cards. We're using the sky shuffle, which if you're not familiar, I could teach you in less than 60 seconds. If you saw it at eye level, you'd start laughing or think, oh my God, they're going to get caught. But we timed it so nobody, the bosses, other players, et cetera, saw it with misdirection.
See, in Magic and close-up, I could just ask a question, and they look up at you, and you're good. You're golden. It's just easy. But this
that you got that guy
unblinking eye and the pit boss and the dealer and golly, yeah.
But we would what we call turn them. Before that dealer would start false shuffling those 6 decks of cards, and right before then, we're all playing $2 or whatever the minimum was. So there's no reason to watch our game, no money on it. So as he starts false shuffling those cards, we have what we call a fake BP, buying $10,000 cash at a table across the pit. So all the attention goes there, the eye in the sky and the bosses. So they're not watching that shuffle. And then we had turns in case of a boss starting to wander back to the game that we're on, turn him. If a little old lady, for God knows what reason, starts watching the shuffle, we push her down. We turn her, talk to her. And even when the relief dealer would come up behind the dealers while shuffling, tap them on the back, letting them know she's there, I would talk to her. So nobody saw that shuffle. And that's how we got away with it.
You had to have a lot of bases covered all at once.
Those plays would have about 15 people, and everybody knew their part. And we didn't have anybody weak. Everybody was good.
That's good. You have to.
Yeah. You have to, but that's also so lucky. We've seen so many movies where you have 1 weak link, whatever movie it is, 1 weak link will bring it all down.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true. Of course, movies want to have that weak link for the tension.
Right.
There's an old adage in screenwriting, nobody wants to watch a movie about the village of the happy idiots because there's no drama, no tension.
Right.
We didn't want tension, but we got it sometime.
Do you have a really close call ever?
Yeah, a few. Probably the biggest one was there's a big play that about 12 of us, and this is ongoing. It went for weeks and weeks and weeks. And the dealers, the cheating dealers, there are 5 of them, they kept getting fired because they couldn't pass the polygraph. Not arrested, just fired. And the players were getting backed off because they were winning too much money. So the team whittled down to just myself and Mr. CC. And he was coming in maybe 3 times a week, 4 times a week to play against me. And toward the end, everybody in the casino was practically watching. And they figured out who he was. So we do our thing. I go on break and walking toward the break room. I get a tap on my back, and there's 3 gaming control agents wanting to talk to me. And a gaming control board is the policing agency for the state of Nevada. And long story short, what they tried to do is accuse me of signaling the hole card to Mr. CC. Back in the 80s, when a dealer had a 10 or ace up, he'd check the hole card, his face down card, to see if he had a blackjack. If he did, he'd turn it over, the hand was over. So this is a very common cheating method and took no skill. Well, we weren't doing that for 2 reasons. One, it was well-known cheating method. And 2, it was too weak compared to what we were doing. So they talked to me for a few more minutes, and then they turned around and left. I didn't get arrested. I didn't get fired. And I kept dealing that casino for about a month before they finally fired me, which I was happy about because it was out of town. I wanted to get back to Vegas. So that was the closest call I ever, had, because if things would have really went south, I was associated with Mr. CC, and that probably wouldn't have turned out real well.
Yeah.
Now, were you married at this time, Dustin?
Yes, just got married.
What did your wife think about all this?
She liked the money. Yeah, we didn't ever include her on anything. I mean, she knew, but she was never part of anything.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking the stress. Every night you go out.
Yeah, I can't really address that because I wasn't in her shoes, but that is a good point. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, good point.
So your book includes lessons like mentor changes destiny, preparation creates opportunity, persistence wins excess, and longevity beats quick profit. Were these intentional life lessons in your book, or did you come to realize them as you're writing them during the process afterwards?
Kind of as I wrote it, I thought, okay, I accomplished something that's pretty rare. I'm pretty good at it. And I said, there has to be life lessons here. And, the lesson itself, a principle, can be applied to anything, not just taking off a casino, obviously. And I developed a guiding principle that I use to make all my decisions. And it's real simple. When people hear it, they may laugh, but it worked. And that guiding principle was, don't get caught. Sounds simple, but when you really apply it, it worked. Don't get caught. That means choose moves that you personally feel that are very good and very deceptive, and you feel good about it. And the 2 main moves I did, I felt extremely good about. Never nervous. I did other moves occasionally. I didn't feel good about them, and I quit doing them. Never get caught. Have the moves down. Agents. Pick the right agents. Agents is my partners. Because that can mess up everything real quick if you pick the wrong person. Nobody that I knew of drank, smoked, or did drugs. So they were all very reliable. I can't think of one agent in the close circle that ever took this lightly. They were all very good. And we trusted each other. There was never an issue with trust.
Wow. Have you ever seen a casino movie that looks almost real? Anything?
Actually, Casino was not, stay positive. Casino was pretty accurate. The consultant on that movie, I did business with. I got to know him. He's a good guy and very knowledgeable. So that's one reason the movie Casino was pretty realistic overall. I mean, they hyped up a little, all movies do, but yeah, that was pretty good back in the day, pretty realistic overall.
We haven't seen that in a while. It's on my watch list because I don't remember it. But I know I've seen it, but I don't remember it. When you were talking about your moves that you were doing, you weren't doing repetitive the same move over and over, but you said you did a couple of the same. How often were you doing moves? Were you waiting just to get the score? Was it every hand how did it work?
Okay, the 2 main moves. The first one was the flash, and it was secretly exposing the top card of the deck to my agent. Let's say you're my agent, you sit at first base. Now that move I did virtually every time. As I picked up the cards from the previous round, you saw your first card of the new deal before you made a bet. So you had 100% betting efficiency on that first card. And the breakdown's in the book. Now, as I tuck my whole card, you see your first hit card. That means the only time you're going to double down is when you get a 20 or 21. So you're virtually going to win all your double downs, which is huge. Let's say you have a 15 and you see a 6 coming. You're going to hit it regardless of my up card. You got a 21, not a blackjack, but a 21. Conversely, you have a 15, you see a 10 coming. You're not going to hit that, regardless of my dealer's up card, because you're going to lose. So that we figured, now this might not be correct, but about a 33% edge, which is huge compared to the best card counter in the world had a little less than 1.5% edge.
I thought card counting was way better than 1%.
I know, right?
No, it's just you get a lot of money in action over a long time period. And now the second move, which was 100% winner when I did it, was stacking the deck. I knew what hand you were going to get, and it was going to be a 20 or 21 or blackjack. Now, I didn't do that every time because that would be suspicious. Every time I shuffle the cards and you get a blackjack, yeah, that's going to be a towel. So we did it on an average maybe 4 times a session, 45 minutes I'm on the table. So those are 4 guaranteed winners at a big bet. So that's how I never lost. And then the flash, of course, you'd win. Now, you wouldn't win every hand, and we didn't want that. Because you won every hand, that would be suspicious. So the flash would be like this. You'd win, but you'd have some losing hands. And what the agents would do, the boss was kind of hanging around the table. Let's say they lost 2 or 3 hands, which could happen dealing the flash. He'd look at the boss and go, I don't know why I play blackjack. I always lose. And that's what we wanted the boss to think. This agent player is a loser. So there's some of the psychology we used that engendered longevity for the agents.
So you're only dealing for 45 minutes. So your agent, your person can't come up right when you get the dealer booth. So they're playing other dealers as well?
Well, that's a big, long answer, but we tried to make it where the agent was there before I got to the table. And there's ways to do it, kind of involved. That way, when I come off break and the boss assigns me game 6, guess who's sitting at game 6 already? You. So now the casino is sending me unknowingly to my agent instead of my agent coming to me. So it doesn't look like the agent is trying to play against me. So you would be playing against this dealer before I came off break, just a square. Boss would see that. Then you play against me for 45 minutes and we win a lot of money, although you're going south with your chips, so it doesn't look like you're winning much. Then when I go back on break, you stay and you play against a third dealer. So now a boss has seen you play against 3 different dealers. It doesn't look like you're targeting me. That's some more of the psychology.
Yeah.
How did you know what table you're going to? It wasn't random, or did you always work the same tables?
It would depend. Real quick, one of the joints was a 3-game rotation. Game, say 6, 7, 8. So the minute I got assigned a game, say game 6, I could figure out pretty easily what game I'd be on at what time later on in the evening. First break, go to payphone, no cell phones. I'd call my agent. Now, just in case somebody was listening, I'd disguise it as a call about racquetball, which I was actually playing back then. So I'd say, hey, let's play a little racquetball, Wes. I got court 6 tomorrow at 10 a.m. What that meant really is 10 p.m. tonight, I'm going to be on game 6. So you'd come in about 9:45, sit down, play against whatever dealer is there. Then at 10 o'clock, I follow casino procedures and I go to game 6. You're already there.
Wow.
Now, I know you're
That's
good.
cool.
Do you like your agent at spot 1?
Yeah, for the flash, you have to
Felt
have
way more comfortable with him at spot number 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is... I get goosebumps thinking, why do I get nervous? You're okay. You made it.
And again, I just want to emphasize a lot of this is in the new book. Yeah.
Yeah.
How I did it and got away with it. There's some good stories and the life principles I talk about.
What's the craziest thing you ever witnessed inside of a Las Vegas casino?
Oh, wow. Another good question. I just think all the crazy things I saw. Just, and this isn't that big a deal, but once in a while, and this was on the square, players hitting like hard 18, 19, thinking they're going to get it. Yeah. And then when they don't, they get upset. I mean, what the hell are they thinking?
Wow.
Get a 19 thinking the 2 and you get a 10, get a paint. Nah, that's not the way to play unless you want to look like a total sucker. I don't think we ever did anything that extreme. We wanted to look like suckers, but that's a little extreme. And then, God, if we got the 2 on a 19, that would really be bad. So I'm sure we never did that. That, again, too much of a downside.
Was there any crazy stories or any stories at all that didn't make it in the book that you wished you put in?
Oh, I'm sure there are some. I can tell you a funny one. I didn't put it in, and this is not making the boss look bad, but when you stack a deck, you have to have slugs, which is, a certain set of cards that are actually not going to get shuffled as you shuffle the deck. And that's one of the techniques I use when I stack the deck. So this older boss is a nice guy. One day on a dead game goes, "You don't know how to shuffle." So I'm already starting to laugh because I know this is going to be good. So he showed me, how to shuffle, and a nice riffle shuffle like this. He goes, "Now you try it." Honest to God, I did 2 push-through shuffles right under his nose. You know what he said? "That's the way to shuffle." And I knew doing it. I said, I'm going to get away with this, and I'm going to be telling this story years later. And
wow.
That's what I'm doing.
Wow. That's, I don't know. That's balls.
Funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say before I forget, all these stories and a lot more are in my new podcast, which is called Cheating at Blackjack, because I'm there with my main agent, the Kaiser, who we were doing all this stuff 40 years ago. So you get my perspective, say as a dealer, cheating dealer, you get his perspective as an agent player, and then he was a dealer and I was a player, so you get that perspective. And then he stayed in the business for 40 more years, so you get that perspective. So you really get a lot of insight, and we go really deep on some of this stuff, and we show the actual moves that we did. Again, the podcast is Cheating at Blackjack. I know you'll have a link. We filmed 6 episodes so far. We got 2 live as I speak right now, and it's good. Kaiser is a photographer, so it looks good, it sounds good, it's professional. But bottom line, we're entertainers on this podcast. We're not teaching anything. Your life's not going to get way better, but it's going to be interesting if you're into the blackjack stuff, old-time Vegas, true crime, stuff like that. I think people will really enjoy it.
It sounds fun to me. Yeah.
Well, with you having 40 years past, it's past statute of limitations. They can't come get you. Those casinos don't even exist anymore.
Exactly.
This guy just left. He's not afraid anybody coming after him?
They couldn't do it legally because it's been 40 years.
So he was working legit for the last 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I'm sorry. Kind of confused you. He's, I can't say much. He doesn't want people to know where he works, but he's got a pretty big title now, although he's close to retirement. Yeah, he's tired of doing, being employed in the casinos. Now he's ready to retire and get out. And we'd meet like once a month and talk magic. And we were talking about this yesterday. I don't even know how this idea about the podcast really came up, but one of us said it, still don't know which one. We said, yeah, because we enjoy each other so much, our company. When you watch a podcast, you'll see this is not fake. I'm not that good of an actor or screenwriter. I mean, it's just, we bounce off each other, and we have for 40 years. I mean, the hardest thing, if you watch the podcast, you'd probably cut it out, but I'm saying the hardest thing is sometimes I'll look at him and just start laughing, and we're not even saying anything funny,
Wow.
Yeah, I'm completely different when I'm around him, and
What?
it is too. It's a good match. In fact, I always tell people if you saw the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I'm Steve Martin, he's John Candy, and it works well. But in real life, of course, we're real good friends, and on podcasts we are too. Now at the table, no, because let's say I'm dealing and he's playing, and he won't toke because we don't want to toke. I don't like him. That's I'm being an actor here. So I go, nah, I don't like that guy. I hope he loses or the boss says something, And that's how most dealers were back then, at least. If a player won a lot of money and didn't tip or toke, you don't like them. Because that's how dealers made their money. I think we're making minimum wage, but then the tips or tokes made up 90% of your income.
Wow. I had no idea.
Me neither.
Um,
Can I ask a question?
Go.
What did you like better? Did you like being the agent, the player, or did you like being the dealer better?
Good question. The dealer by far. The dealer's in charge of everything, and the stacking, we were working off mainly a lay stack where the cards, I turn them face up, pay the bets, and I could read that lay stack in less than a second. I knew exactly what you would get if you're my agent, and depending on how many players, what I would get. So one of the best stacks I go for is I give you a 15. Now, why in the hell would I stack you a 15? Makes no sense. The answer, I'm going to bust. So nobody's going to figure that out. And the dealer busts about 28% of the time, so it is not suspicious.
Yeah.
It just looked like you got bad cards and got lucky. And that's exactly what we wanted the casinos to think.
Nice.
Were you keeping mental track in your head how much your agent made, that you knew what your split would be later on, or you just trusted them?
Trusted them because, and that's a great question. One, I had to deal the game. That's the number one thing. Number two, I had to cheat. So, and when I was cheating, I couldn't look like I was doing anything. And then on top of that, try to keep track of how much he won. It'd be too difficult. I trusted him and never had a second doubt. And he trusted me when I was the player. In fact, I can't think of anybody. Well, I can. On one of the computer coolers, this is an interesting story, which is in the book you probably read. We called him Iggy. I, to this day, don't know his name. I'm sure he's passed. This was a long time ago. Anyway, we did not trust him. He was much older than us. We were in our 20s. He's in his 60s. And I don't know if he's being on the square when he's telling us stories or trying to impress us, but he told us, now this is before the play, that the FBI was looking for him, some kind of stock scam. Oh, that's not good, of course. And then he told me he was younger, him and his partner got into an argument, and I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny. His partner shot him in the gut, and he's driving himself to the hospital holding in his guts.
Oh, gosh.
Now, I don't know if this is true or not. But, me and Mr. CC are starting to think, we're in our 20s, we're card cheats. That's all. This guy's in his 60s, and he sounds like a bad guy, and he's the BP, big player, going to win all the money. What stops him from just taking off with our money?
Yeah.
But we did tell him that this is the first computer cooler. If you do good, the next computer cooler at this casino, we think the score is going to be about $1 million. So if he was thinking about taking off with the money, he'd wait for the $1 million score, which of course was just a story. Not giving away too much, but we got it. We got the money. He did show up.
That's good.
So, and we, truthfully, I don't know if that thought ever went through his head, but this is not a guy we knew real well. He wasn't like one of the
time that you worked with him.
I think so. Maybe one other.
Yeah.
I never had him come in and play against me. I had enough agents. I didn't, even though I was young, I knew this is not the kind of guy I want to hang around with.
Yeah.
He just, you get that vibe from people. Oh, these are good people. I trust them around. This guy, big team, and I'm not the person in charge, so I'll go along with it. But I don't, after this play, I'm done with him. There weren't many, but there were a few. Now, he was probably the most, let's say, shifty. There were other ones that just weren't very good, as far as their role. They weren't good mechanics, or I know one guy, he would play at a big play, and he did all right. But then he'd go get drunk, play poker, and kind of mouth off a little. Well, that's not good. You know?
No.
Luckily, he was drunk, and probably everybody thought he was just BSing. But I don't have much tolerance for people like that.
Right.
Going. So, do you have any blackjack tips for non-cheaters?
Don't play anymore. I think the game's terrible. They went from 3-2 on a blackjack to 6-5 in most places. And they have the automatic shuffler, so you can't count. From what I heard, and I'm not really up on it that much, the advanced players are still looking for mistakes and stuff. And there are some buy dealers. Now they got really sharp guys. One of my buddies does all the math for the casinos. So it's going to be, if they use him correct, it's not going to be one of these carnival games that, there's some kind of loophole that's totally legal that you can get an edge. Now, back in the old days, I don't know what they did. There's a story about the Fremont Casino, probably in the 70s. They had a joker in the deck. If you got it as a player, it could be any card. If the dealer got it, he had to discard it. Well, that promotion lasted about a week. They lost a ton of money on that.
Oh my.
Wow.
But I guess they didn't put the math. I think it was like a 6% edge, and I'm going by memory. I could be wrong, for the player. Just to play basic strategy. That's it. It's basically, if you got that joker card, you pretty much won.
Yeah.
Well, you said in one of the other podcasts that we've done, this is our third podcast with you, I do believe, that the ones off the strip are like in Reno or way out in Nevada somewhere. It's not Vegas. They're more kind of old school. Have they changed now?
Oh, glad you asked that. Great story. There's a place, actually, I'll say the city, Laughlin, who back when I was there 40 years ago was, a one-horse town, 5 casinos and 1 convenience store. Okay. And I dealt in one of those casinos. And even in the 80s, when you picked up the cards, they didn't have a discard rack. So the cards went underneath. That was pretty crazy. The crazier thing, when we went on break, we took the deck of cards with us. So we could have easily stacked the deck. I didn't, because it's just that's a little over the top. So now I go down there maybe a year, 2 years ago. There's a peak I wanted to climb. Walk into the casino, watch them deal blackjack, and I swear I thought I was seeing things. Or I went back 40 years in time. Single deck, cards went under the deck. And I don't know if they took the deck with them, but nothing had changed in 40 years. Oh my God, like stepping back 40 years in time. Crazy.
Wow.
Did that make you want to play?
Almost. Now, I haven't played a hand of blackjack since 1990.
Wow.
So I don't want to break that record. I don't know why, but I don't.
So the book, How I Did It and Got Away with It, where can people find that?
It's on my website now, and that's the only place right now. So when you go to my website, it's buy the book, and we'll do a direct link. It is an ebook right now. So you buy it, you have it immediately. And it's good for phones, tablets, PCs, desktops, whatever.
And that's DustinMarks.com.
Yeah.
And the new podcast you can also get to from DustinMarks.com.
Yeah, it says podcast. And we're filming every week. We have right now 2 released. I know the Kaiser's editing it, has number 3 done, so he may release that at any time. And this is going to be an ongoing thing. We have lots and lots of podcast ideas and film. We film every week, same setup, and we're getting better and better. It's a learning curve, obviously. Like I'm sure you've experienced that with your podcast.
6 years in and still learning.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. But it's a lot of fun. And hopefully it'll do well. So we want to get it out there so everybody gets a chance to see it. And, some people won't be their thing, but I think if you really want to get inside the mind of a professional blackjack cheat, especially back in the 80s in Las Vegas, And this is the real work, what really happened. You know, we don't overemphasize or exaggerate stuff. We don't need to. You know, we're not shooting a movie. We're telling you about the real thing that happened back then.
I can't wait to listen because I have so many questions about it. Like, did you keep notes? You probably didn't because you didn't want to get in trouble. You didn't keep, I mean, everything's just in your head from everything that happened. So he's probably reminding you of things that, oh, I forgot about that one night that happened.
Exactly. We start talking and Kaiser remembers something, then I will. And, you know, when you talk about it, you start to remember things. Now, this is a video podcast, so it's not, of course, you can listen to it, but it's better if you watch it because we do some moves.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sweet.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daggone it. Cheating at Blackjack, available everywhere. Dustin Marks.
Yeah, it will be. That's the podcast. I haven't uploaded to any of the podcast things. I'll do that today. I get the software, but it is on YouTube.
Well, I'll tell you what I do when we get offline.
Sure.
I post it once, it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, you spent time around some of the greatest card men in the world. Who's the most underrated card magician or mechanic that modern day magicians should be studying? CC, people can't study CC because he's so.
Yeah, let's leave him out.
A lot of the best are probably like that, though. They never made a name for themselves because they wanted to be.
Who's really good? Now, he's not a cheat, but really good. And you probably heard of him. It's Jason England. He's very knowledgeable. And I'm talking about people I know personally, so I'm not going to go by reputation. Who else? Well, Alan Ackerman. Of course, you know, straight magic moves. He's very, very good. I think of who else that I know.
Now, Jason England works in the security in Vegas, right? Isn't that what his job is?
Honestly, I haven't talked to Jason for a while, so I don't know.
Okay.
Don't know, but we filmed some stuff, videos for Vanishing Ink. I got not the master classes, the downloads. And he was really knowledgeable. And he had a blackjack table and did a great job filming. And we talked a lot.
Yeah, I like that dude.
He's very knowledgeable.
Yeah. Well, man. Well, that was an hour. Do you have anything you want to add?
Just again, the book is How I Did It and Got Away with It, available at dustinmarks.com. It's an ebook, so you get it 5 seconds after you pay for it. And the podcast is ongoing. This is a long-term commitment. It's also called Cheating at Blackjack. You can get through it from my website, or you'll have a link where you can go directly to the podcast. Right now, there's 2 episodes, but in a week, there'll be at least one more. We're planning to release one a week right now. And we have 6.
You think? Do you have any idea of what day you release them? Like mine comes out every Wednesday at 3.
I don't know what our schedule's going to be. It's more up to Kaiser because he's editing them. I'm sure there will be a schedule. We always shoot on Monday. So I'm guessing maybe Sunday, but that's a guess right now. The best thing is subscribe so you get the notification.
Awesome. Dustin, you are awesome. Are you still, how's the hiking? How's all that going?
I've slowed down some just because I'm so busy with everything else. Still do it a little, but nothing like I used to. I am getting older and, how many times can you do the same peak? Some of these peaks I've done 50, 60 times.
Wow.
So
that's a lot.
my main emphasis is the book, the podcast, the speaking career. So change emphasis some.
He took us on a hike that took us an hour and a half to climb.
I don't remember, but it was fun.
But we got down to a restaurant and soreness started setting in because we're not used to it.
Hey.
Right.
No. And then I said, you want to go to lunch with us? No, I got to go to the gym. He's going to work out after that.
Well, I was stretching. I'm a big believer, literally, because of all the heavy weights I lifted when I was younger and the hiking. I don't think I'd be able to walk if I didn't stretch, literally. I'm a big believer in stretching, especially when you get older. It's so important. So yeah, I'm religious. In fact, real funny story. Go to a really good gym, really like it, but they don't have a stretching cage. So right down the street is another gym. I mean, literally, not even a mile. So I go to that gym first, stretch, and then go to my regular gym. That's how much I'm into stretching.
Wow. That's well.
That's
Hey.
committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I want to be like you when I grow up. Hey, Dustin, thank you for everything. DustinMarks.com.
Thank
You
you.
get to the podcast, you can get the book from there. This dude, he did it. He got away with it, and he's got a smile on his face.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. He got away with it, smiling, boy.
Yeah.
Dustin, you're awesome. Only thing we have left to say is, see you next week.
All right, thanks. Great being on your podcast again.
Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled Wesiseli.